Meeting your heroes! My hamster died!
Angry goofball dads!
And a very positive and non-stilted look at recreational drug use on this very special episode of WatchBots.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to WatchBots, the podcast with loose lips and looser theming. This is Ben. I'm joined, as always, by Shaylin.
Hello.
Hello. And Dave.
Just say no, you guys.
I'm not sure that's the message we got here, but that's okay. So, this is try number 2 on this episode. We had some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Yes, I don't think I sound like a robot, or I don't sound as much like a robot as I did when we were experiencing our technical difficulties.
You sound less like a robot.
Yes.
Can confirm.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, no more robot, which is always good. But we have a lot to cover here, and we have a limited timetable. So no bullshit, except this bullshit.
We fucked up, it's made up, don't get up, we get made.
So Dave, you had mentioned that there was a question about the lyrics to that song.
Yeah, I think I know what they are, but I could just be hearing things. It's like the Pete and Pete theme song.
Take a guess.
Is it we fucked up? Does it start like that?
Yes.
Okay. It's the mea culpa of the week.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
They just modulate the mea culpa.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
You gotta shoehorn it in somehow, man.
Yeah. You, like Lennon, McCartney, me putting lyrics into the songs of Sugar.
Right. The great songwriters of our time.
All equivalents, I believe.
Mm-hmm. It's Bowie.
It's
Lennon.
Yeah.
Ben.
It's Rob Thomas, Nelly Furtado, and original Nelly.
And one of the Boys to Men.
Two Boys to Men. One of them's very quiet.
Which one?
Oh.
With the baritone guy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, this one.
So he's quiet or not quiet?
He's the quiet one.
I said no bullshit, but here we are.
Here we are.
I guess the whole show's bullshit. So mea culpa of the week.
I got a couple. You want to hear them?
Hell yeah.
Let's do it. Ben, you and me fucked up the Madonna movie with Willem Dafoe, where they bone down. It's not proof of evidence or evidence of proof or whatever we were saying. It's body of evidence, which
Oh, I've actually heard of that movie.
yeah, it would make much more sense.
I feel more validated now.
Given what she does with her body in that movie. That plays.
Oh, yeah.
Hey now.
I bet Willem left some evidence. Gross.
That was gross.
That's disgusting, Shaylin.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Anyway, sorry.
Seed to stomach. The other.
It's like farm to table, but
Did I ever tell you? We're gonna. You keep saying no bullshit, but we're gonna go right into it.
Yeah.
I worked with a woman who had a blog, and it was sort of farm to table, but it was called Seed to Stomach, which was oh boy. I don't have to say anything else. The other mea culpa, I got the Metallica album I referenced last week. Shaylin was talking about the underacting, and I made a metaphor that it was sort of like the underproduced Metallica album, Death Magnetic.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong album. It was actually, I was thinking of Saint Anger, which came out around like 2003 or 5.
That was the one that was featured in Some Kind of Monster.
Yes.
which is a fabulous documentary
Yes.
and a
Yes, it
horrible
is.
album.
Not a good
the
album.
album's terrible. And I looked up some reviews because I go down a rabbit hole. Here's some quotes from the Saint Anger critical reception. An ungodly mess at times. It's all about bringing the carnage. Guitars underwent more processing than cat food. It's a little catty there. And then
Meow.
someone called it a monolithic slab of noise. And so, just to extend my metaphor from last week, I think you could apply all those reviews to the acting in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
A monolithic slab of noise.
Yes. A monolithic slab of acting.
That's apt. And now I
Thank you.
can't stop thinking about Saint Anger. Part of that album I like? It's during that
what part?
song. So like they're playing, I think they're in a prison or something. And like the lyric is just, I'm really angry with you. I'm really angry with you.
Yeah, and then Kirk Hammett comes in. He goes, "I'm the patron saint of anger." Right?
Was that in there?
No, I'm just
I was
joking.
going to say, I don't think Kirk Hammett was involved at that point.
No, he was.
I want to know when Bruce Springsteen joined the band.
I'm right here, Shaylin. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Put down the guacamole dip.
Join me in Asbury Park.
I'm really angry.
I'm just a local boy made good.
Do you think that Bruce Springsteen still thinks about all of us poor people when he swims in his swimming pool of money?
Of course I do. I'm from the Garden State.
Thanks, Bruce.
You don't get any more blue collar than that, Shaylin. Whoa.
Do you remember when he wrote the song to the fantastic film The Wrestler?
Yes.
I do. What were some of the lyrics, Ben?
If you've ever seen a blind man walk down a road into a tree, then you've seen me. If you've ever been eating a hamburger sandwich and you got ketchup on your pants and you had to go to an important business meeting and you weren't prepared, then you've seen me.
That seems very specific.
Well, he's an everyman. So
That's true.
an everyman situation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Dave, for admitting to those failings of us. Did you have one, Shaylin? I can't remember.
So I was talking about the episode of Undressed that the actor who portrayed Tommy the Green and then White Ranger was in. And I misremembered and conflated two episodes of Undressed. We probably watched both in the same night. There was not a twist where he was a gay dude in the episode that he is most known for of Undressed. So, I mean, doesn't really ultimately matter, but a bit of trivia. The girl in the episode of Undressed later became a Power Ranger herself. So
he recruited her?
I think it's just like weird happenstance because it was many years later.
Gotcha.
But it was an oversight.
So your Jason David Frank dislike continues with these blatant lies and untruths.
I have no problem with gay people, so no, that isn't a dislike thing of him. That was just like a twist.
I know I said no bullshit, but I went down a Power Rangers rabbit hole after last week. Just in research, not in watching. One of the later Red Rangers killed his roommate with a samurai sword.
Holy shit.
IRL?
Sure did.
On purpose or
Oh,
by
yeah.
accident?
Yeah, he thought he was a
Murder.
putty patrol guy. Not murder, voluntary manslaughter was the charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He still killed a man.
Yeah.
So
Who among us can say that?
I did not. I have never killed a man.
I was hoping to trick you into a murder confession. $5 to whoever's killed somebody.
You're not getting me this time, Ben. I just got out of prison.
Do you know how hard it was to get that DNA evidence?
Ew.
Well, listeners, we want to hear from you.
It's disgusting.
If you've ever killed a guy and want to admit it, hashtag I didn't kill anybody. Wink. So yeah. I know I promised no bullshit, but I also made a drop based off of something last week. Something I'm not proud of, but I did put the effort in. So
Let's hear it.
here we go.
I don't want to grow up. I want to be a boxcar club kid. There's a million boxcars that I can live in. There's tramps and the clap and video games.
Gee whiz! I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys. Oh boy!
I want to be a boxcar club kid.
So I'm not happy with it.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Can we make that the ringtone on my cell phone?
Yeah, we'll download it to the computer and we'll hook it up over the cord. We'll make it happen.
Thank you.
Mommy, I've got a secret.
So I have to admit, I'm a little confused heading into this week
Okay.
because in our conversations about, what to structure the show around, we were talking about this. We're in the back to school period, right? Summer's ending for the kids. They're heading off to school, but we're talking about an anti-drug cartoon.
Right.
Somebody make this connection for me because I am not seeing it.
I can't because I don't know what
I
it
will
is.
struggle to make the connection. Let's see. Back to school, DARE programs were in school. Don't do drugs. This PSA.
It's tenuous.
Yeah, oh, for sure. For sure.
Could we say that Michael perhaps is playing hooky because he's a real bad boy?
Mm.
He is a real bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call the truancy officer. Is that what they were?
Yep.
I think so. Do those really exist, though?
In some places, yes. In other places, you had a safety officer, a DARE officer. We just had, Officer Mish. In my
Don't name
school?
names.
No names.
I don't even think that's right. I don't even think that was his name. I'm making a face. I'm cringing.
Oh,
I have
boy.
no idea what that guy's name was.
Just terrible. Did you guys ever cut classes? Were you truants?
So when I was in high school, I was chronically late to school, which isn't really different from anything about my life anywhere. Like I'm constantly late for everything. And
Hashtag chronically late. Wink.
I
Yeah, the chronic.
was able to get into my high school through the back door that was supposed to be locked, but I had a kind friend that unlocked it for me every morning so I could get to homeroom slightly after the bell, but not have to sign in the office. So I didn't get detentions for not getting into the building on time. But I made it to homeroom, so I wasn't like skipping class so much as just strolling in 2 minutes late.
So the answer is no.
Well, so I felt like a bad kid because of this.
Okay.
And then when I was in my senior year in like May, I told my mom I was going to skip study hall and go out for breakfast with my friends. And her response was, "Oh, thank God you're finally doing something rebellious." So no is the answer.
So the answer is no.
When you went through the back door of school, did they play Aerosmith's Backdoor Man?
No.
Ragdoll, living in a movie.
Well, see, that's a mea culpa already because that song is Ragdoll.
Fuck.
Fucking ridiculous.
How about you? Did you?
I'm going to go on a 5-minute timeout.
No, I didn't skip class. When you could get a hall pass to go to the bathroom, I would take really long shit breaks, but like I wasn't doing anything. I was just hanging out in the bathroom.
Would you actually take a shit?
Sometimes, occasionally, but sometimes I would just sit in the stall to kill time,
Yeah. I could never poop in school. I never pooped in school.
Coward.
We're here, and now we're here at this point in the conversation.
And now we're
just shitting in the middle of the internet recording.
The bathrooms at my high school were so full of cigarette smoke that you couldn't like hang out in there without getting lung cancer immediately. So,
That was that John Travolta movie, right?
yes,
A Civil Action. Is that about your high school?
totally.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Aaron Brockovich,
Yes,
also about your high school.
totally.
Yeah.
Most stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue, which I would say it's like a proto Roger Rabbit, but it is in fact something that came out after Roger Rabbit. But it is a melding of cartoons from all over the place. So you get your Hanna-Barberas involved and your Warner Brothers and your Disneys and your miscellaneouses, and they're coming together and they're berating children about taking drugs. Because it's a charity thing, all these companies came together. Nobody took any royalties. But of course, because Disney is king of all media, Roy Disney was the executive producer of this thing. Disney's home video company put out the VHS. So then, as now, Disney right on top of that pyramid.
Oh, yeah.
Stands out like a sore thumb. This was a co-production of the Emmys, of all things, like the Television Arts and Sciences Academy.
Yeah.
And also Southern Star, which is oddly enough a Hanna-Barbera subsidiary, which is kind of fucked up to think about, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But they produced all of Hanna-Barbera's Australian shows like The Toothbrush Family and Bananas in Pajamas.
They did Bananas in Pajamas?
Coming down the stairs.
What a great show.
The Toothbrush Family?
The Toothbrush Family.
The very same.
Mm-hmm.
As they came down the stairs?
In pairs as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was their version of Family Matters, just everybody was toothbrushes.
What was the Urkel toothbrush's name?
Steve Toothbrush.
Bristly.
I couldn't think of bristles. I couldn't get there. Sonicare Urkel.
I liked Flossie better.
Yeah, Flossie's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
No, that was his cousin Flossie.
Cousin Flossie.
And then the smooth bristly was Briselle.
I hope that somewhere out in our listener verse, there's a producer stealing this idea to produce it. Family Matters as toothbrushes.
Yeah, a real hit idea.
It's
bringing
called
up that
Dental Hygiene Matters.
Yeah.
They're ringing
We
up
got
Julia
Funny or
White
Die
right
next
now.
week. Yeah. Here's the pitch. Family Matters, but toothbrushes. And then he politely hangs up the phone.
No one ever hears from him again.
Moves on with his day.
Can't wait to sue Cracked.com for stealing our idea.
No.
Be
No,
great.
they wouldn't do that.
No, they're precious. They're too the sanctity of comedy.
They respect copyright.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm going to mail this idea to myself in a letter so that we have the copyright taken care of.
good plan.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Got to be safe
But
these times, you know?
Cartoon All-Stars?
Right. Financed by McDonald's.
McDonald's charities.
Yeah. My bit works better if I say financed by
Okay.
McDonald's. What I was going to do was make a joke that there was a disturbing lack of Arch Deluxes in this. You know, like, Arch Deluxes are like the methadone in this case. Like, man, you know, I used to love crack, but now I just love the creamy sauce and adult sophistication of a new Arch Deluxe.
It's a good joke.
A lack of product placement.
That's true. For a cartoon that was it just defied all rules of copyright and like ownership and of characters, there was very little product placement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Aside from the very obvious characters, but yeah.
Unless you're in the weed business, because then your product is placed all over it.
I guess that's true.
In a real reefer madness kind of way, but yes.
Oh man, they should have had like Michael open up his box of drugs and just like have like a chicken nugget in there just for product placement. Great.
Maybe it was inside his roll of ace bandages that he had in there.
Is it okay to jump ahead for just a minute? What were the contents of that actual lunchbox? Because literally my entire life since seeing this, I've not understood how that paraphernalia translated into doing marijuana.
Well, that puts you about 19 steps behind Theodore the Chipmunk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So it's like indiscernible to people in general, not just to me.
I think so. I mean, you know, I'm hip to the lingo. You know, I know the scene, but 1990, things
Yeah,
may
I
have been
do.
different.
I do the weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smoke the acid.
Who better to talk about this topic then?
Right.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Before we dive too deep into details, I mean, do you guys remember watching this as a kid? Did this come up?
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can tell you for sure the musical number by Alan Menken was what ran through my head when I was a sophomore in high school and Justin on the school bus offered me marijuana.
Fucking Justin.
And I'll tell you.
Did he have any marijuana?
Oh, yeah. He had used a hall pass to roll it up to smoke it.
Oh, man, that's so cool.
Um,
Can we get Justin on this show?
I mean,
Justin would be
maybe?
the coolest person.
Was Justin the one that liked Power Rangers?
No.
Oh.
No.
There's
Was
no
it-
interest.
was
No
his-
interest.
His last name was In and his middle name was Toke.
Yes. Justin and Toke.
No, not quite.
Justin Toke.
In. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Just didn't token.
So Justin,
So this
just
cartoon
token.
affected me so deeply that to this day I have never used marijuana or any illicit drug for that matter.
That's apparent.
you have to tell us if you're a cop.
I'm not a cop.
Okay. Twitter.com/not a cop. Dave,
Yes.
have you?
Did you remember this cartoon?
Did you see this?
Oh, so I didn't know if you were asking me if I remembered this or if I was a cop.
Both.
Both. Stated up front.
No and yes in no particular order. That is all. No, I remember the show very vividly. I remember being very excited to watch all the like cartoon characters come together, and then being very, very freaked out at what was going on, especially toward the end of the show. But yeah, I did. Oddly enough, and this probably won't surprise you or any of our listeners, I don't remember it being about drugs.
What did you remember it being about, Dave?
Just being about the cartoons getting together.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I was 6.
I can like pinpoint moments when we were watching it. We had to pause for a second, and I was like, "You don't have to pause it. I remember it." It was drilled into my brain.
So here's the thing. I did not watch this as a child, right? So I can sense a schism that's going to be happening with how we felt about this. But Dave, I will spoil it a little bit. This is not about not taking drugs at all.
No, it's not.
No,
I agree with
You're
you.
both wrong.
It is not. I have a lot of weird, fucked up questions about this.
I've
But
got
let's
some theories. I've got some theories, but let's
walk before we can run. I thought
exactly.
I was convinced that there was a sequel to this at some point, like a 1990s follow up. I looked it up, and I did find something called Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue 2, and it's on like a Wikia. I'll post the link in the show notes, but it's not real. Somebody wrote a new one, and the plot is exactly the same as the first one, except there's more kids.
Okay.
It has all of the old cartoons from the one that we're about to talk to, but it also has such luminaries as Arthur from Arthur, Banjo and Kazooie, the characters.
The Dudley Moore character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They resurrected him to come back for this. Pikachu from Pokemon, the Sesame Street characters. There are characters from literally like 75 cartoons in this.
Wow. Who did that?
Well,
Someone
are
who had a
these
lot of
people?
time.
somebody on this fandom site, but there was a character. Somebody did leave a note. Can Odie be a new character? Also, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Funky Kong if you decide to edit again. So this
All right.
special has even more characters. So I would like to call for a new Cartoon All-Stars.
I mean, obviously, this cartoon was only effective for some kids, me, who watched it, because we do have a legitimate like drug crisis going on actively right now. So I think that we should probably make a new one and brainwash many more children the way that I was brainwashed to try to help.
Brainwashing, probably not far off from the accurate term here.
I know.
And helping is questionable.
If it terrifies kids enough to keep them from making bad choices, then I say it's positive. Net positive.
This is the cartoon equivalent of your parents yelling at you for doing something.
It's preventative yelling.
Preventative yelling.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the equivalent of like 1989 Hulk Hogan, just like doing the finger. Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah.
It's like your hero's just screaming at you, but you did get to meet him, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the talent in this show,
Oh.
the talent.
Oh,
Indeed.
talent.
Shaylin mentioned Alan Menken, which, yes, there is an Alan Menken musical number. And yes, we will be playing the whole thing, either during the episode or at the end here. It was written by Dwayne Poole and Tom Swale, who didn't work exclusively together, but they worked together enough that I'm going to call them writing partners.
Okay.
That may be a leap. I could be wrong. I'm putting myself out there, though. But they worked on shows like The Smurfs, Laverne and Shirley in the Army, a lot of TV movies, and this drug thing.
It's a giant PSA.
A big old PSA.
Yeah.
I think one of the noteworthy things here is that it simulcast all over America, right? So it was April 21st, 1990. It was on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox. I couldn't remember the stations. And a bunch of cable and local networks too. So like USA Network had it, and they all showed it at the same time. And usually you only get that kind of coverage for like assassinations.
Right.
Or royal weddings.
Even the royal weddings, the most recent two, do not simulcast on that many networks.
Cite your source.
I was there. I watched.
I was there.
Meghan and Harry invited you?
No, I watched them on television.
I put on my funny hat.
My fascinator.
I pulled out a Shalantini.
I'll have you know that I absolutely, during the William and Kate royal wedding, I didn't go to work because I hated my job and I had time to burn. So I did. And I drank a mimosa while I watched them get married. It was lovely.
That is quite a tale.
It's not quite a Shalantini, but it's close.
Yeah. A Shalantini could be whatever you want it to be. A dream is a wish your heart makes. Anyway, you know what they say about jolly old England?
No.
It's haunted.
The whole thing?
Like the number one movie in America that week, which was Ghost.
Oh, man.
So it was a sexy week in America.
Excellent transition.
Ghost, a movie I've never seen, although I have seen that pottery scene.
So I rented Ghost as a child with my friend, and we watched it 3 times and were confused at the end all 3 times.
Was somebody blind in that movie?
No,
Whoopi-
you're
Whoopi
confusing that with
Son of a
the
woman.
the music video.
That's the one.
Hello, isn't that?
Yeah, he makes
He
makes the sculpture out of a potato.
No, the blind lady sculpts his face.
That's
in
right.
that music
But he
video.
looks like a potato.
He does look a little bit like a potato.
Yeah, he's making the sculpture of the head out of the mashed potatoes, and then like he just keeps going.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it means something.
Right.
What else was a popular movie that week, Ben?
Continuing the spooky theme, you had The Exorcist 3.
Oh,
Yep, that's about right.
oh, man.
Also,
I think I watched, when I was little, I watched, on TV, I watched like either the second or the third Exorcist, and I hadn't seen the first one. And I was like, this movie sucks. Like, why does everybody think The Exorcist is great?
I can't
and then
follow
I rented
this.
it. Yes. And then I rented the first one. I was like, oh, this is horrifying. Okay.
Did you guys ever watch the movie Repossessed?
With Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you had about Repo Man,
No.
which is a good movie.
Yes.
Not starring Leslie
Repossessed.
Nielsen.
No.
Less good.
You know what other movie didn't star Leslie Nielsen?
No.
Flatliners,
Oh,
which was
Ooh.
our number 3 film.
With Kiefer?
Yes.
Yeah.
not a terrible week for the movies.
No. Flatliners, though, high on the list of movies that has been like rebooted / remade that absolutely should not have been.
Mhm.
Right.
I think Ellen Page was in the new one.
Yeah.
She was, yep.
It looked horrid. Real bad.
Do you know what Flatliners was? It was the peak of Kiefer madness.
Ah,
Hashtag Kiefer Madness.
Yeah.
So we open, as many cartoons do, with the president and his wife.
and Millie.
And Millie. Yes. I was going to forget about Millie, except you screeched in glee when that dog came on the screen.
Because Millie, the presidential dog, the first dog,
Mm-hmm.
the best presidential dog that I knew of 1990,
Sure.
is among my favorite dogs to have
Mhm.
ever dogged. She's fantastic. She's
Yeah,
the chillest dog ever.
She's very memorable.
I don't know how you don't remember Millie. She was a big deal in my life. My sister had a T-shirt with Millie on
Of
it.
the dog?
Yeah.
What?
The fuck?
So, my family had a house up in Kennebunkport, and so there's like a lot of like Bush family T-shirts and stuff in like the tourist trap shops. And we found a Millie T-shirt, and my sister used her savings from the year on our summer vacation to get a T-shirt with Millie.
Sure, of course. Something that everybody will remember.
Just because both of you are uncultured jerks who don't remember presidential dogs
Mhm.
doesn't mean we're all that way.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, we want to hear from you. Is your favorite Millie the dog, or beloved teen star Millie Bobby Brown? Hashtag my favorite Millie. So anyway,
Millie Vanilli.
Interestingly, Milli Vanilli scandal broke in 1990. So
A lot happened that year.
a halcyon year for sure. So the president lectures at us, and let me play a little clip of that. It sets the tone really well for this exciting cartoon.
And some of your favorite cartoon characters will help you understand how drugs and alcohol can ruin your life. So watch the program.
So do it.
They'll ruin your life.
I'm not going to eat any broccoli.
1,000 points of light.
Right after he finishes his speech, he and Barbara look at each other, and it's like you can
They're gonna
feel the
tongue
stench.
fuck each other. Oh,
Oh.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
weird. And then we crossfade to a shot of the White House.
No. Then
There's fireworks.
The camera pans out, and Barbara's holding the dog, and it's like
Millie.
she's going to rip Millie's head off with the way she's holding it. It is so bizarre.
She's trying to reassure her because she's uncertain.
She saw someone drink a beer and was like, "No, they're gonna die," and so she's comforting Millie.
Do you think that they had just watched the cartoon?
Oh, I
Yeah,
like
This
that
is their
idea.
reaction. Yeah.
I like this, Barbara. Like it a lot. That's my terrible George Bush impression.
I'm
It's
trying
not
to,
your worst impression.
I'm trying to think of what that actually sounds like. It'll come to me eventually.
It sounds like Dan Aykroyd doing Bob Dole.
That's very exact, but okay. We'll play with that.
Dan
So-
Aykroyd was Bob Dole?
We said no bullshit, Shaylin.
Yeah, stop.
We need 7 more minutes on the dog. Millie's fur was white with a hint of brown.
She was a Springer Spaniel.
Mhm.
Long hair.
So the cartoon itself, it opens in a real dream scenario, and that's flying through the window of a little girl. And then a hand reaches in and steals the piggy bank, and you know that shit is fucking serious.
That is
And-
sinister.
I will add, this was a rare, well animated hand. Did not scare me.
True.
Yeah,
So that's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
They put the highest quality people on this.
I applaud you, animators.
With my normal shaped hands.
They probably weren't on crack. That was the
True.
prereq for getting on.
Well, if they were on crack, they'd be dead already.
That's right.
Ruins your life.
Or having a good time with their pals.
That's right.
But we'll get there. So the first cartoon character we meet, who is not a cartoon character, is Papa Smurf. And he's residing in the pages of a comic book. And he sees that the bank has been stolen, which is fucking bizarre. And he starts to mobilize the troops.
Hurry, my little Smurfs! Corey's been robbed, and we must wake her up!
I immediately had questions about this world.
Okay.
Me too.
So I can't remember everybody in this show. We'll meet them all as we go here. Are these supposed to be the real dyed-in-the-wool cartoons? Or are these versions like, you know what I mean? Like the Smurfs comic book that Corey has, is the Papa Smurf that comes out of that like a manifestation that appears to her in Michael? Or is it the real Papa Smurf?
He's the real Papa Smurf.
That's insane.
All
You
of
say
the
that with such conviction. How do you know? The show establishes rules and breaks them constantly.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole 32 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking show.
I'm genuinely curious because I thought about this a lot because it plays into other questions I have.
So the reason that I think that these are supposed to be the actual cartoons is first from the title of the show,
Mm-hmm.
that the cartoon all-stars are coming to the rescue. It's not hallucinations that look like cartoons coming to the rescue.
Well, I mean, they're all there, but is it the real them?
What is real? It's a cartoon.
What is real? Simulacra.
Oh, the verisimilitude. Well, I mean, we'll get to this later, but one of the cartoon characters calls the main character Michael. He says, like, he accosts him for, like, believing in a cartoon.
Right.
They are cartoons.
Right.
They are a cartoon. It just, like, oh man, fucked with my head so much.
And how does Bugs Bunny know so much about drugs?
He was cool.
He was cool. I got some choice Bugs Bunny for us. But I'm putting it out there because this is the mindset I entered into the show was about a minute in after just seeing the president and his wife eye fucking each other. We have this
right,
weird
Barbara.
world that I do not understand. So I'm in this weird headspace as we get into this anti-drug cartoon.
You couldn't see it, but she was giving me an over-the-pants hand job
That's
during
what
that whole shot.
that's what Millie was there for, was to hide
That's
it.
right.
The
Millie
old-
was on Barbara's lap.
The old POTPHJ, presidential
Yep.
over the pants hand job.
Pot USA.
Patusa. Anyway, so Alf's there. So that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I didn't remember that there was an Alf cartoon, but I was happy to see Alf there. And he comes into play by popping out of a picture frame. So Corey has a Smurfs comic book and a framed picture of Alf, which is pretty funny.
This is like your room,
And
I
then-
imagine, when you were a child. Like,
And that- and then you're gonna say now and-
yeah, well, not far off.
It's
Either way,
It's not
it's your
inaccurate.
bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah. And he wakes up Garfield, and Garfield is a lamp. So he literally has a lamp sticking out of his spine, and Alf treats this extremely sensitively.
You want to help track down the thief, Garfield?
Hey, going through life with a blue lampshade is work enough. Wake me when the lasagna comes.
Let me rephrase that. Do you want to help, or do you want to be lunch?
The takeaway is that Garfield is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Garfield's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
Actually, the takeaway I got was in this show with all your favorite cartoon characters, Alf was threatening to eat one of them.
Because he's a cat.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But would you want to see your favorite cartoon character, Garfield, get eaten by Alf?
Having seen Alf chase many cats, I'm desensitized to it. It's the circle of life.
Yeah, but those are just regular cats. This is Garfield.
Circle of life.
Circle.
That's right.
Fine.
That's fine.
Fine. Argument one.
You get introduced to like a million characters in this first scene, and it's like one of those Disney holiday specials, you know, like where they would walk around Disney World and they'd be like, "Oh, it's Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains," and "Oh, it's the dad from Family Ties, who is not a creep, as it turns out." It's just like, and Bette Midler. And it's just like that 75-second opening crawl to those things.
Yeah.
It's
where
the
they-
older sister from Just the 10 of Us.
Yeah. And like they're in like a starry inset and they're all grinning at the camera. And it's like, who the fuck is this? But this whole show is like that. Like, so
Except that ostensibly you know who most of the cartoons are.
well, yes. But the point is, it's like, and the chipmunks are there.
Yeah.
And the rest. And they also all have their own music cues. Like when you meet Slimer. So I appreciated that.
It worked to make sure that you had to do less work in remembering these characters that you didn't forget already.
Yeah, you just had to strain to understand these music cues. But the one character I was not expecting to meet in this first scene was Star Wars creator George Lucas.
Sheesh, I hate when that happens.
So
A plus.
is this kind of like the precursor to Toy Story?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe it's the precursor to the Robin Williams movie, Toys.
An underrated classic.
That came out before 1990, didn't it?
It did not. That was 1992.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why do you know that so easily?
I'm a big Toys hand.
All right.
Toys
Mea
hand?
culpa for Shaylin for getting the date wrong, and mea culpa for Ben for getting the date right. That's a big problem.
There's nothing wrong with that. Bad video game. Great flag.
Oh, terrible video game.
Very bad. Very poor. So this gang of toys decides that
They're cartoon characters.
But they're not. They're toys. How is Garfield living in John Arbuckle's house if he's a lamp here? It's ridiculous. F minus.
They're not
Multiverse.
toys. Papa Smurf came out of a comic book.
But see, multiverse, those are not the same characters. They're different manifestations, which is my whole point.
I was just saying that these were not hallucinations. That's all.
I didn't say that they were hallucinations.
You said they were manifestations of these characters that only Michael and Corey could see.
I think that is true, but
I disagree. That's fine.
take an umbrage with this. So they decide to go into another room where we see an older boy has broken the piggy bank, which is a cardinal sin. Did you guys have piggy banks?
Not.
Yeah.
I did when I was a little bit older, but we actually had a family jug that we called the Disney Fund. And so our spare change all went into the Disney Fund to go to Disney World.
Okay.
Did the jug serve as an instrument as well?
No, it was a plastic jug. It was one of the big Poland Spring sizey ones.
Okay.
I had a piggy bank, but it had a plug in the bottom, like a rubber plug.
Oh, yeah.
So when you would always see like piggy banks being smashed, like here or in the first Simpsons on the Christmas episode, I understood it because I'm not an idiot, but like it just seemed strange to me that was always the thing you'd go to because my piggy bank, you just
pop the bottom out.
You pulled his guts out and the coins fell out.
Yeah.
You didn't have to break them. I guess you could have if you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the point.
Michael was an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Listeners, we want to hear your best piggy bank stories. Hashtag this little piggy. So the piggy bank's broken and they're hanging out. So it's Alf and it's some of the chipmunks and Garfield's there. And, everybody's pissed. And Alf also turns into Dennis Miller.
All right. There must be $20 in here, easy.
I can't believe it! Corey's own brother?
Wally never did this sort of thing to the beeve.
He sure didn't, Alf.
You could see him on Weekend Update with that kind of humor.
You said Dennis Miller. I said, I thought this was like Alf doing the best me impression, which was making a very, very dated reference to an audience that probably wouldn't know what that was.
As I was going back through my notes, I apparently was very proud of this Dennis Miller reference because I made it at least 4 times. Each time, I'm sure I chuckled to myself going, this is a real good zinger.
Oh, man. People are going to love this Dennis Miller joke.
But we find out that the criminal here is Corey's older brother, Michael, who I have more to say about his appearance later, but here he looks like Marty McFly. Let's just set the baseline.
Totally.
He's a regular Marty McFly. And Corey...
Sure, like an everyday kid.
Yeah. Just a real everyman. Probably a Springsteen fan.
Definitely.
Oh, most likely, yeah.
And so Corey goes, knocks on the door. Michael has his box of paraphernalia, which Shaylin has mentioned. It's not a shoe box. It looks like more of a cigar box, perhaps.
I thought it was like a lunchbox.
No thermos.
Okay.
So we know it has like a roll of Ace bandages in it. I think it has a pill vial, maybe. He has a pill vial at some point. But then again,
There's like a Polly Pocket thing in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I couldn't tell what was in that box.
There's a very clearly defined roach clip in there.
That's true.
It's pretty weird.
And it has a pungent odor.
Yes, as we find out here in a second. So the cartoons run under the bed because they don't want to be seen. Kind of like Toy Story.
Yeah.
And Michael shoves the box under the bed. And this is where we start to learn how much cartoons know about drugs. This clip is a bit of a longer one, but I think it's worth listening to just so you can get a flavor here.
Either someone's conducting a major chemistry experiment, or this is a serious no-no.
Toto, something tells me we're not in cartoon territory anymore.
What's that funny smell? I hate to suggest this, but my guess would be marijuana. An unlawful substance used to experience artificial highs.
You're acting really weird.
Far be it from me to get into drug culture here. Artificial high is not really an accurate term, to be fair.
No, it makes you high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would a natural high be in this logic?
Right.
Like happiness.
It'd be like an increase in
masturbation,
serotonin or dopamine as a result of like an adrenaline rush.
Michael should just go on a nice run.
Yeah.
You should rub one out and be done with it.
Yeah. I can't believe that box just had like a belt and like dirty needles.
And a crusty condom for some reason.
Yeah. Like
Ew.
like a tinfoil pipe.
This starts a kind of disturbing trend in this show, and I've mentioned it as something that really weirds me out. And it's cartoons speaking freely and having a lot of knowledge about drugs.
Yes.
It's just, it feels icky.
But they're Hollywood, right?
They're Hollywood, baby.
They've seen some shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like these cartoons,
the backstage parties.
they've seen some shit.
See,
They know what's up.
I had this thought particularly about the Chipmunks. Like, yeah, like you mean to tell me their years and decades of worldwide touring, they've never, bumped a rail or done a square or whatever,
I mean, Dave always did a good job of keeping them safe.
Thank you.
From the drugs. The drugs.
The
I'm very
drugs.
hip, you guys.
Super hip. So anyway,
They were on the weed.
I said the weed earlier and then realized I said it. I'm embarrassed.
It's okay. Yeah, you live your best life and embrace who you are.
Totally.
It's like when I say the YouTube by accident and people under the age of 30 make fun of me at work. So I've been there.
The only time I use the in front of things is when I'm talking about gritty reboots. So like the Batman or the Joker. So yeah. So Corey and Michael are talking. To show you how fucked up Michael is, the camera zooms in on his face and he looks like the fucking Grim Reaper, which is cool.
This is one of those moments in my life, or one of those like moments when I watched this cartoon that I carried with me throughout my life.
Sure, an alarmist reaction to things.
I remember thinking as a teenager, like, oh, when people are high, they don't always look like a monster. And like thinking that was confusing.
Yeah. It's realistic. It paints an accurate portrayal of
totally.
somebody making a good choice.
Absolutely.
So Michael runs out of the house. The Toons decide, fuck, Michael may be in trouble. We got to help him. And we get one of my favorite lines of the episode here.
Simon suspects drugs.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
Pooh is feeling it.
Pooh is scandalized.
Oh, no,
He's not sure he hates it.
Oh.
No, he's into it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these characters are secretly into drugs. Another theory.
Where'd he get it?
Ooh, give me the cheap. I don't know why. That's a bad Pooh Bear.
He's haunted.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear.
It's me, Casper the Friendly Ghost.
How you doing, Pooh Bear?
I'm white because I love cocaine.
That's why he's dead. It all circles back. Should have heeded the warnings.
Maybe he should have.
It's that Colombian nose candy.
So we go to an arcade. The arcade looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's sufficiently dark, like all good arcades should be. And there's like purple and stuff. And we have this gang of cool kids. And they appear to be smoking a joint in the middle of the arcade.
In the middle of the arcade.
Now,
which is ballsy.
In 1990, you still had to request smoking or non-smoking sections in restaurants.
That's true.
So maybe the arcade was like allowed smoking and they were just trying to blend in with the cigarette smokers.
Like a safe haven, if you will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so we've got the group of teenagers, but we got somebody else there. Somebody who's pretty cool. You get a lot of this guy. Let's meet him.
Yeah, that's it. Do it.
So that is, I called him Mr. Smoke Man.
His name is Smoke.
He actually does not have, he doesn't have a name.
Oh.
He's referred to as the dealer, but I don't think that's true.
No, the dealer's a different person.
Because he's not dealing. So he's just Smoke?
Yeah.
Like the Mortal Kombat guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Mr. Smoke Man better.
It's George C. Scott, and he is credited as playing Smoke.
That's George C. Scott?
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh my god. First off, I thought it was Robert Loggia, the boss from Big. So they sound alike.
Sure.
But yeah, then I read it was drug. Yeah.
Smoke.
Then I read it was George C. Patton, and I just, my world fell apart. Like it just crumbled around me. I was like, what conversation did they have to like, we need somebody to voice Smoke. Who can it be? And, get me Patton.
Get me the grandpa from Angus.
Give me one of the Scrooges.
Well, I mean, he brings real gravitas to the role of a purple cloud of smoke who is a bad influence.
Yeah.
He's also the man in charge.
Well, they're one and the same.
As we later learn.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's right. I love, like, that's what drugs personified sounds like. She's really sleek and sneaky.
No hesitation. It was perfect casting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagined, like, George C. Scott didn't know what he was getting into. And he was, like, reading for another role. Like, and they just recorded him and said, all right, thank you, Mr. Scott. He had no idea he was doing this for PSA.
He thought it was a cartoon version of Hamlet.
Yeah. Wait, are these? Is this an update? Yeah. Yes. Sure, George. Sure.
Whatever you
say, sir.
When do I get to meet President Bush?
When do I get to meet Millie?
That was in all their riders. The kids, everybody.
Everybody got to meet Millie.
Yeah.
Come over, one pet at a time.
It's like a robotic George Bush.
Speaking of petting, me and Barbara gonna do some heavy petting after these cameras shut off.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with people in love enjoying each other.
Oh.
Even if they're creepy and old. And the president.
And the Bushes.
Specifically.
Speaking of bushes.
Barbara's bush.
Yeah, damn it.
I'm old, but I'm not slow, Ben.
Your wit is unmatched, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
So
anyway.
So we meet Smoke Man.
Smoke.
And we also meet another very important character here. And this character is named Peer Pressure. And by the spirit of the cartoon, you would believe that peer pressure is literally the only thing that drives people to drug use, especially this kind.
It gives you a major high, like that.
I'm in.
Okay, I'll try it.
You in, Michael? You don't want to be left out, do you?
Come on, what are you waiting for?
Try it.
This is all in response to one of Michael's friends holding out a handful of something. I think it was supposed to be crack, but it looked a lot like baby teeth.
It looked like somebody tore up an index card.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
Maybe it was acid, you know?
Oh.
Could be.
Squares of acid.
Okay.
Whatever it was going to get them fucked up for sure. It looked like a lot of fun.
And they were so easily convinced that this was going to be the best thing.
Yeah.
You guys want to do this? Sure. Whatever. Yeah, I'm down. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I like about these kids? Willing to live, you know? Not scared of their own shadows. Not cowards. Just
DTFU. Down to get fucked up.
DTGFU. Or down to fuck you. And
down to fuck up.
You is the royal you in this case.
God.
They're probably having so much sex with each other when they're high. That's disgusting.
I bet most of them are dead.
Shailen, what's wrong with you?
That's what me and Barbara do.
Get high on crack.
Yeah. Are we there yet? Are we at that point? The crack point?
No.
Okay.
No, we are miles away from the crack point. So the fuzz shows up, so they have to cheese it. We get some cool chase music. And then Michael is sprinting around an alleyway, still holding the joint because he's a fucking idiot.
Stupid.
He's an idiot because they run. Like the cops are like, for all we know, from what the show showed us, all we know, the police car could have just been driving by, but they all just book it.
Guilty conscience, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
he holds onto the joint like an idiot.
He does, but don't worry because it's not a cop. It's our old pal Bugs Bunny.
What's up, Doc?
Huh? You're not a cop?
You got me. So the takeaway from this is that if you do drugs, you get to meet cartoon characters.
No.
And you have a good time.
No.
Are you sure?
Time traveling machines and like colorful ride, like Willy Wonka rides in the sewer with Michelangelo.
Mm-hmm.
If you do drugs, you will be harshly judged by the heroes of your youth.
Yeah, but you still get to meet them.
Negatively.
Which would make me want to do more drugs.
But you're assuming that there's more reasons to do drugs than simply getting high for fun. And peer pressure.
An artificial high.
If I could meet my hero, Red Sox legend Wade Boggs, and he, yelled at me and beat me with a baseball bat, at least I could say, I got to meet Wade Boggs, and I'm going through puberty again.
Congratulations.
To prepare for that moment.
Mr. Boggs.
Jesus Christ. So Buggs shows up, and I had this weird thought that wouldn't it be funny if this turned into like a Scared Straight? it's the cartoons just like beating this guy with soap.
I do like that idea. I was trying to remember what Scared Straight was. I remember now.
Scared Straight, best TV show to watch ever.
Mm-hmm.
This is now a Scared Straight podcast.
Scared Straight Bots. Did you like the music here? Just like the immediate run down to Skid Row. Just like the sweet, like gnarly guitar riffs playing and everything.
Well, it's funny you brought that up because I got a little bit of it right here. It's a bad side of town.
It's like
You're welcome.
It almost sounded like I thought it was, for a moment, I thought it was like there's like a bass riff and it sounds like Stranglehold by Ted Nugent.
A little bit.
Yeah. So
Ted Nugent was also a financier for this show.
Yeah, sponsored by the Ronald McDonald House and Ted Nugent's Center for Obese Cats.
We'll skip ahead a little bit here. Michael does drugs because he wants to. Bugs rewards him for his behavior by putting him into a time machine. But that's not important. What's important here is that we're going to meet Dad. And Michael and Corey's dad is the daddiest dad that ever dadded. Let's meet him.
Well, that's funny. There's a couple of beers missing.
Oh, honey, you probably drank them.
He pulls out this wooden crate of beer, which is pretty funny. And there's two missing. And he furrows his brow. There's a couple of beers missing. And his wife
immediately
dismisses it. And he says, I'm going to go clean up the garage. And he saunters out of the room.
She also accuses him of like
being too drunk to remember drinking his beer.
Yeah.
And she's like fine with it too?
Yeah, she's cool.
Oh, sweetie, you just got shit-faced and blackout drunk last night, and after you hit me, you probably had a couple more.
I think we found the root of Michael's drugs.
Yes, exactly. I learned it from watching you, Dad.
This continues a string of cartoon parents being really horrible.
Negligent at
because Dad leaves. Cool Dad. And
voiced by Michelangelo.
The artist?
The turtle.
Also looked like a jacked Robert Goulet.
Accurate.
Yes. Speaking of references nobody will get.
Talk about a dad bod. So Mom sits down with Corey and says, isn't your father looking fucking hunky today?
No, she doesn't say that.
No.
Oh, man, I just want to drape my hands over his pecs.
Stop.
So she talks about Dad's pecs, and then she talks about something, I guess, a little more related to the show.
Corey, is your brother all right? He's been acting so strange lately. You know, we love you both.
That's so fucked up. That's not cool, Mom. Like, going to the little girl.
Yeah, putting her in the middle.
And being like, wow, your brother's acting weird. Have you noticed anything weird? You don't see Michael interact with his parents ever.
Right.
Yeah. Never happens.
Oh, it's a surefire recipe for like making all your children not trust you is like asking them about each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Not cool.
So Mom leaves the room and then Pooh comes to life and Corey shits her pants.
Yeah, she's alarmed at first.
She's alarmed at Pooh coming. It's me, Pooh. And
Pooh's coming.
And Pooh, instead of being like, hey, how's it going? I'm Pooh. He immediately says, you should have told your mom, you fucking idiot.
You should have told your mother.
So Corey says, oh, but Michael will be mad. He'll be upset. And Pooh says, well, what will happen to him if you don't tell your parents? Immediately after this, we get to Michael hanging out in a time machine with Bugs Bunny. So I don't think the consequences are really that bad. You know, like
that sounds pretty fucking fun.
If Bugs Bunny showed up here with a time machine, I'd be in that fucking time machine. I don't care if there's a purple smoke man. I don't care if I have to like be injecting heroin. I'm going in that time machine.
I feel alarmed that that's your takeaway.
Why?
Because that's not at all what the takeaway is supposed to be.
That's what it tells you. I'm not doing a bit. Like, this is legitimately what it shows you.
So she doesn't know he's in a time machine with Bugs Bunny. All she knows is that he's acting weird. He stole from her and he's being mean. Right? So what will happen if she says nothing is that her brother could die in this time machine unchaperoned with a rabbit who clearly enjoys drugs.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, though, Corey sucked.
Did she?
She's a little shithead.
A little narc.
I didn't care for Corey.
Clearly you were never a little sister. That is the moral here.
So what do you think?
Anyway.
So what do you think? So we're in the time machine. And it's this big, elaborate, like, sphere-looking thing. And they go all the way back to 2 years previously, which was apparently, like, 1953.
That's
correct. Because Michael is wearing a shirt that has an M on it. Everything is in black and white. There's like greasers and all these dudes with crew cuts hanging around.
But they
they're
explain
all
why
like
it's in black
snapping
and
their
white.
fingers.
Yeah, because
It's the past, and the past is black and white. That's how we're making the story happen. They break the third
Did
wall.
you like?
I'd say the story is black
Did
and
you
white.
like the time machine spins around and smoke just goes whoa, and it's just like I just imagine George C. Scott recording that. Like, all right, George, now you're in a time machine and it's spinning around, and he's just like regretting the decision to do this PSA.
Maybe they just spun.
I was going to say, he's just in a chair.
They just spun him around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrapped him in duct tape until the recording was over.
Ah,
Let me out of here.
oh my groin.
So yeah. So
Oh,
this is Michael's fall from grace, as it were, right? This is when he decides to become a little drug boy. And let's see how that happens. And by see, I mean here.
You guys cruising for lung cancer or what?
We're getting high. You know, grass, marijuana.
Well, yeah, sure, I knew that.
Want a hit? What's the matter? You scared?
A little bit of peer pressure. Little Michael sucked too. You guys cruising for lung cancer? Like, fuck you, pal. You fucking dick.
Everything around drugs or alcohol is just immediately terrible.
Yeah,
right?
like those older kids should have kicked Michael in the fucking face.
Yeah. Just mind your business, idiot.
They should have just told him to buzz off. That would have been fine.
No.
Buzz off, dweeb.
But you know what? If anything, these stoners are likable because they invite Michael, who just went up to them and insulted them for no reason, and invited him to join their club.
He insulted them because he cares.
Yeah, he just wants to look tough.
Oh, is that why you're always insulting me, Shaylin?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Like,
Well,
if
I appreciate the sentiment.
If I went up to somebody who was smoking and I said, "What are you cruising for lung cancer?" I would expect to be kicked in the fucking stomach.
All right. Counterpoint.
Well,
Maybe they're in the Midwest where there's less violence.
Is that true?
No.
I feel like everybody's angrier in the Midwest.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they can't release.
It's too cold out there.
Yeah.
So cold. Everybody's so cold. They got to wear parkas.
Packers are always losing.
Gets angry.
Yeah.
Go Bears. I think. Go Bears.
Sure.
Anyway, there's so much going on. Like, we're just like, da, 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 da. So now Michael is druggy after taking one hit off of the marijuana cigarette, which
That's
is
how it works.
pretty much how it works.
Yep.
And there we go. And so Michael is watching this from the safety of the time machine, and Bugs Bunny, because he's a good friend and a nice character, just starts belittling him.
If everyone was jumping off a cliff, would you go too? I guess you would, wouldn't you? Not very bright. Definitely not one of the world's foremost thinkers.
I bet you would,
Not
you little
very
fucking
bright.
idiot.
What a dick.
I know.
What a dick.
Now, to be fair,
And what a dick.
hashtag hog bunny. Like, Bugs is a dick canonically, but it's just like he's just berating this teenager.
Yeah, but he's not a dick to like he's like a jerk to like the Elmer Fudd's of the world. Like, you know, the antagonists. Like, Michael here is not an antagonist. He's like, according to the show, he's a victim.
Yeah.
So Bugs is just berating this victim. He's just yelling at him for like being peer pressured into this bad decision.
I still think this fits Bugs' overall character. He's kind of always a dick.
He has a rich arc in this particular film.
Indeed.
I feel. I should mention too, while he's berating Michael's posture is fantastic. So he's got his hands in his pockets, and he's got like his hips thrust out, like he's going to town, but like his upper half is really slouched. You know what I mean? Like, it's like he's got like rickets or something. It's probably drug rickets.
Drickets.
Yeah.
Well, when you drink alcohol, you can't stand up straight like a good person.
That's right.
Yeah.
You bad boys with your bad posture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're all slouched and got scoliosis.
Yeah.
One time, when I was little,
I had scoliosis.
I did too. They had to do a scoliosis test at school. Like every kid had to go down. They measured your spine, whatever. And I, like an idiot, had mixed up the words scoliosis with multiple sclerosis. And I told a classmate of mine that I had it, and he got super, super sad and like started crying. And then I was like, what are you talking about? All I have to do is like stretch. And he's like, you fucking idiot. It's scoliosis. So yeah, I was 22.
That was a ride. You just took us on a ride.
I also am marking down the time for every kid had to go down. We'll put that one to the side.
Every kid had to go down.
It's like the limbo. Before we
That's right. Nope, not going there.
Before we leave Bugs, though, he does show that he appreciates the marijuana culture.
Sure, drugs make you feel good.
They sure do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now we're back to the real world. We're back in the garage, or I guess we're in the garage. We haven't been there before with Corey and Dad. And Dad is like indiscriminately picking up boxes.
He's cleaned up the garage.
It's a fun weekend activity.
Yeah.
We've owned our house for a few years. I don't think I've ever spent a Saturday picking up boxes out of there.
No.
Partially because there's a hole in the roof. Just convinced it's going to collapse, but I don't know. He's a stereotypical dad. What can you say?
Yeah. He's as you said, the daddiest dad who ever dadded.
Yeah.
What was that box full of?
I don't know. Oil?
Garage things.
Cans of oil?
Because it had the strangest label I've ever seen.
What was it?
Okay.
KLIT. I paused it.
Oh, it's Korean literature. Of
Yeah.
course.
K-Lit. I paused it. I rewound. I watched it again. I paused, played, paused, played, paused, played. I was like, am I seeing this wrong? Is it the video quality? I took a picture. I sent it to Ben. It sure as hell says clit.
Sure does.
Mm-hmm.
What could be in there?
I don't think Dad's having an easy time finding it. I'll tell you that much.
I'm moving your mother's... Ooh, hey-yo. Moving your mother's sex toys, Corey.
Do you think it's just all his copies of Big Clit Mag?
Thumb through Big Clit Mag.
Oh, boy. Well, listeners, we want to hear your theories. Hashtag Daddy's Clit Box.
With a K.
Yeah.
Hey, you found it.
Yeah. We'll search both hashtags, the K and the C. We have time for that. Aside from the clit box, which is the real important thing here, you get Corey, and she's trying to talk to her dad, say that Michael's acting a little weird, right? She's trying to open up to him, and Dad is also not a great parent.
What's up?
I'm worried about Michael. He's been acting really weird.
Corey, being weird is just part of being a teenager. He'll grow out of it.
I think it's more than that.
Huh?
That's like the end of the scene. He's like Tim Taylor, and that's where it ends. So if your sibling is on drugs, you get to talk to Pooh Bear, and don't tell your parents because they're not going to have any fucking idea what to do.
I wrote Dad with an arrow pointing to the next word. Useless to the cause. He's useless, this man.
Yeah.
Too busy focusing on finding that clit.
The true life's pursuit.
Yes.
What is the meaning of a man?
Who is the man?
Who indeed?
Mm-hmm.
Who indeed?
So poor Corey has no one to turn to.
Except Pooh Bear.
Except for Pooh Bear.
And so Michael is in the park with his pals, and they're having a pipe of smoke, as it were, just laying on a park bench, smoking some tobacco. For $10, we can get some crack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for $10, I could score us some crack.
Oh, yeah, crack.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Just General Patton.
Feeling the crack.
Oh, yeah, crack.
I could have done this voice.
Gimme. You're
going to meet the crack.
It's so alarming.
I'm not the one wearing hockey crack.
When we watched
You're
this,
more on crack in Gotham has set the criminal scene back. If it's discovered that you're Two-Face, the war could be set back dozens of years. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Batman.
Oh boy. Go ahead, Shaylin.
You're going to spend the rest of your days in a padded cell.
I love that up to this point.
It's the crack you need, not the crack you deserve.
So even with
beautiful.
the introduction,
Unethical. Dangerous.
all the way through, it's like, you know, if you smell marijuana, you're going to be addicted to drugs and your life is ruined forever. And in spite of the fact that we never see Michael drinking, there's 2 beers missing. So obviously he's the one who drank them and he's going to go to hell for it.
And beer is very dangerous.
But then we get to this point and this very casual, for $10 we can get some crack, man. Like, what the hell?
Well, here's the thing.
The person
Because
who...
you're not in on the culture, right? So you don't understand. Like,
Is that what it is?
once you started smoking marijuana, moving to crack, it's like starting on skim milk and going to 1%. You know, it's just like, it's a little leap. It's a little weird feeling.
But it's easy.
Ooh, baby, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it possible that the adults who put the show together never used drugs?
Absolutely not. Animators and actors? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and did you see that
The writers.
scene later? Where they just...
I did see later
they-
scenes, yes.
Yeah?
My tongue got tied. Where they animate a complete drug trip. They clearly know. They clearly have used drugs.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or at least they've used drugs in the Batman 66 sense, where everything looked like a drug trip.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. So anyway, after we get some crack, baby, yeah.
Oh, yeah, crack. I love it.
They steal Michael's wallet and run down the street. Michael chases them, falls into a sewer. He dies, is horribly injured by falling into the sewer.
His
He doesn't die.
He lands on his feet, but his legs break, and his shin bones go through him into his torso.
It's a bad scene,
And
but
he's impaled by his own shin bones, and he bleeds to death.
If only-
alone and high.
it's just lamenting. If only I'd had my crack.
If only my
only I
parents
were
had listened to my
sober.
sister.
It turns into the end of Requiem for a Dream. You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
Except with the shin bones. And so, anyway,
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this.
Ass to ass.
But with shin bones.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ass to ass. So, of course, in the sewer, he meets your favorite turtle. Well, maybe not. I mean, we've talked about this. Michelangelo. And Michelangelo is a party dude, so he's pretty sensitive to Michael here, right?
Party!
Sure.
Like you fell through a radical hole, dude. You could have avoided it, but you weren't thinking. Come to think of it, that's a lot of your problem.
So let's take a step back. Michelangelo pulled this sewer cover open, created this obstacle for Michael, who then fell through it because he was running to get his wallet back, and then Michelangelo berates him.
Yes.
Accurate.
He was worse than Bugs Bunny.
That's true.
Like, just injures Michael, or almost injures him, and then just calls him an idiot.
Yeah. Here's your problem, dude. You didn't eat enough anchovy pizza. And you're also on drugs, dude.
I'm not real, and you'll see that in a minute.
It's like Keanu Reeves doing Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway.
I can only do so many voices.
It's okay. It's late. I got a lot of phlegm. It's making these things difficult.
Say phlegm like that again.
Phlegm. Mad scientist. So the river that they raided
Barb
the
likes
sewer.
to put her phlegm in my mouth when we're making out.
Ew.
It's pretty good.
Nobody
support it.
likes that.
The river is psychedelic.
That's tonsil hockey. Gotta pass the puck.
Did you ever play that Ninja Turtle slot hockey game?
Oh yeah, I had it. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
The thing was awesome.
Check it out. Pizza hockey.
It kept me off drugs.
Thank you, Michelangelo.
And a lack of peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the river is psychedelic. Michelangelo pulls the plug. Michael, that was a mindfuck for a second. Michael falls through. Now he's in a roller coaster car with Kermit and Piggy. And we get a little of this.
Where am I?
Well, You're about to take a trip through the human brain.
Okay, cool.
Here we go.
So they're
So now we're in inner space.
Or Body Wars and Epcot.
Ooh,
That's
a good one.
I also have a raunchier one, which I will relay presently. There was this documentary, I think it was British, in the 2000s, and it was like, it wasn't called Real Sex, but think of it like that. And it was scientists like measuring sex, and they taped like cameras to penises. So, so like, and like inside the vagina, I feel like Peggy Hill, vagina. And so it showed like just two people having sex and like just like inside.
Weird.
And
just like the camera going back and forth.
Well, I mean, the camera is going back and forth, but because it's on a dong, and the inside of this body looked like the inside of the vagina. It's the point I'm making. So check it out. It's a good flick. It's very scientific, and it is very strange to watch.
But did it have the cloying morals that this scene had?
Oddly, yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay.
I feel like the vagina had more flagella in it, but whatever. So
I know Barb's does.
So Peggy, God damn it, Piggy and Kermit are here for some reason, which is a little horrifying because like Bugs Bunny is an adult, at least. Kermit and Piggy are babies.
It's the Muppet Babies.
Who know
it's
a
not
lot
just
about
Kermit and Piggy. It's
know
baby
a lot about
Kermit
drugs
and baby
and
Piggy.
like it's still their relationship. So Piggy is talking about like romance and Kermit owes her. This is all very fucked up and uncomfortable.
Well, they're babies too, and they put the producers of the show put the babies in the freakiest fucking scene.
Yeah,
true.
It's mind-boggling, the decision-making here.
So they're on this roller coaster. You know, drugs are a roller coaster, so on and so forth. We get Michael having a little revelation.
We're inside me?
That's what
there's
Barb
a
says.
good line. I don't know if you got this clip. There's a good line from Gonzo where they're talking about like, oh, this is your brain on drugs.
No, I didn't get that one.
And Gonzo says, well, that's one artist's conception. That was like the best line in this show.
It's very good.
Yeah.
We're inside Michael, apparently, because it truly is like inner space. And
oh, God. Oh, I wish I were.
There's a couple of weird things here, right? One, Michael is still smoking the pipe.
Yes.
And there's smoke inside, and you get Piggy and Kermit and Gonzo coughing, like I just did, but none of them get high, so cartoons are immune, maybe?
That could be.
It's possible. You also have Michael skateboarding down the street, and I had a real problem with this because he's pushing off with his back foot, which is why he has trouble balancing.
Oh, he's bad at skateboarding.
Yeah, everybody
Bad
knows
technique.
that's called mongo. You don't get good balance that way. You can't pick up speed.
I see.
Now, were you upset by this because it triggered you and your horrifying like skateboarding incidents?
No, I mean it triggered me as somebody who enjoyed skateboarding in the past and spent some time riding, and I thought, you know what? He can't ride right because he's high, or he can't ride right because he's an idiot. One or the other.
Well,
one of those.
If Bugs Bunny and Michelangelo are right, then it's probably the latter. He's just a dummy.
It's probably true. But similar to me, Michael does take a spill. He is visited by Huey, Dewey, and Louie from DuckTales. He acknowledges this as a hallucination, or he has an awareness of reality. One or the other.
One of those.
What's happening to me?
Are you okay?
Huh? Now I'm seeing ducks.
And this is finally where the episode goes off the rails, because Huey, Dewey, and Louie, instead of berating Michael and, like beating him with socks full of quarters, they decide they're going to teach him how to say no. And this is the musical number. And this was written by Alan Menken, who wrote the songs from Aladdin, from Beauty and the Beast. He wrote a song that the voice or somebody from Fresh Prince did.
Brian Stokes.
Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Yes.
That's right.
The only way this song could have been better was if Brian Stokes Mitchell sung in it.
Maybe he did. I mean, everybody else was there.
That's true.
He's
uncredited, but it's possible.
We built this making up enough. Let's play a sample.
Well, you look like three fine lads. You know, I might have something here you'd like to try. Something to make you feel real good.
There's a myriad wild-eyed wonderful ways to say no. No thanks. No way.
Better learn a few and take 'em wherever you go.
No thanks. No sir.
If your pal says let's get high,
Here's a practical reply.
Go ahead, let fly spit right in his eye and...
All right.
Say no.
Don't worry. The whole song will play at the end of the episode. You can get
thank
here.
God.
I know you're not going to turn down an Alan Menken. It is insane that this is here. This was so bizarre.
Yep.
Just a long Broadway style musical number in the middle of this show.
In the middle of a don't do drugs PSA.
Yeah.
But it is catchy and it is memorable.
So if you do drugs, all your friends will gather around you in a park and sing you a personalized Broadway musical number.
They will teach you how to not ruin your life by saying no.
What I enjoyed about this is many things. All of the ways that they teach him to say no are fucking lame. Like, I have homework. And also, they all look very angry when they're singing.
No. There's one that you're missing because most of them are pretty lame, except for Alf's, where he goes, "My hamster died."
I guess that is a good reason.
And that is the weirdest thing
So
to say, like, in a song. My hamster died.
what I liked is that this whole entire thing is like morals, ethics, safety, but you can lie to get out of shit.
Right, yes.
This whole song is
Yes.
encouraging people to lie to not do things that their friends are asking them to do.
It's not like, stand up for yourself, be assertive. It's just, take the super passive.
Take the easiest route, kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Your friend wants to go to the movies and you don't feel like it? My hamster died.
Yeah, just lie.
Your mom
you're
wants you to
fine.
eat some broccoli? I shit my pants earlier. No thanks, Mom.
Because my hamster died.
Because my hamster died.
Yeah. It was so sad I shit my pants. You can save that. Ben, you bring this up, like, if you're on drugs, your friends will gather in a park and sing to you, like, well, then, hell yeah, I'm getting on drugs because I want that to happen. I want my friends to sing to me like this. I want them to put on this big musical number. So it's just like, is this really effective, this cartoon?
It was for me.
I mean, it's effective in its memorableness, which is a good word.
Yeah.
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 So we get this musical number.
Remembering.
And Michael runs off to join an off-Broadway production of Mamma Mia. That's how he solves his problems. Now, he wakes up in his room where Corey, as she does, barges in again, and they have a little bit of normal dialogue. I think it's normal. I never had a sister, but I imagine conversations would go like this.
I thought I told you to stay out of here.
Pooh Bear wants to know why you don't talk to Mom and Dad.
Tell Pooh Bear to mind his own business.
I just want it to be like it was before.
There's a character trait of Michael's that I feel like I should have mentioned earlier, and I'm really fucking so mad at myself for not doing it. He seems sad and bummed out about drugs, and then he's very angry. Whenever somebody's like, "Why are you doing drugs?" He's like, "Because I fucking feel like it." He's like those Unforgivable videos. Waffle fries for free. Bridge over the River Kwai.
Letterman jacket.
Those are good videos. Anyway, if I had to diagnose him, I would diagnose him as being bipolar, in which case drugs may actually be useful.
I would diagnose him as a person who is struggling with addiction.
Okay. And also bipolar.
Is he just on pot? In this
in
cartoon?
beer. In beer.
In beer.
Oh, in beer.
Yeah.
He's
a lethal combination.
So one of those like very familiar stereotypical rage-filled potheads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just
Most deaf.
Yeah.
It's like everything. They just took all of the symptoms of being a drug addict and threw it into this and like just kind of melded it all together and was like, it's just weed.
Somebody should have just
That's
told
correct.
him, watch a little Space Ghost Coast to Coast, lie on the couch, chill out, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's cool.
Because I got high. Because I got high.
So I'm gonna man the sofa. It wasn't me.
That one wasn't about drugs.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Because women are the druggiest drug of all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, tell me about it, Ben.
Baby.
Here I am again.
Michael's mad at Corey, and in an alarming moment, he grabs her by the wrist and throws her against the wall, which is not cool.
Can confirm.
Great thing to show in a cartoon.
Often younger siblings get treated that way.
We see inside the box again, you see the roll of ace bandages, which over time I came to think of as like a nice porchetta, a nice rolled pork dish.
I like it.
Michael's a gourmand, as it were.
I thought it was a cannoli.
That could be. Yeah. I've never seen a cannoli that looks like that, but you to each their own.
It's a weird looking cannoli, guys.
Wow, is that a real deal Italian person?
No, I was trying to sound like Brian Fellows.
Oh my God. Good heavens.
It's a weird looking bird.
Oh, now you're just a Boston person.
It doesn't matter.
That's a funny looking goat. That's Brian Fellows.
Here's the thing. I'm not good at impressions.
I don't know. If you were going for an Italian stereotype, I think you hit it out of the park. Yeah. Or, because it's football season, you scored a big touchdown.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Go team. So
NFL kickoff this Sunday.
Or yesterday, by the time this posts.
Right. Sorry.
Well, we post live to tape.
Took Bugs Bunny's time traveling machine.
That's right.
Yes.
Corey leaves with a broken arm, and Alf comes in. He couldn't come in while Corey was there to protect her. He comes in after the fact, like a coward, and he brings Michael into a house of mirrors. He shows Michael is like, he sees himself in the mirror, right? And he goes, "Oh, I look good." Which is a fucking funny
His
reaction.
self-esteem is pretty healthy.
And then Alf takes him to another mirror where he looks like Michael Jackson in Thriller.
Yes.
So like Alf's way to trick him into getting off drugs is like just like show him fake mirrors. Like this is not an effective strategy. Alf makes another timely.
There's a possibility you might look like this.
Yeah, if you were a ghoul or a demon. Alf makes another timely reference here.
You see, drugs aren't your pal. They're your enemy, storming the battlements, trying to take control.
It's like, he really is like Dennis Miller. You know what I mean? Just throw in like a fucking like War of 1812 joke with the generals, and you're there.
It's the Battle of Waterloo, baby.
And
something, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get there. Wounded knee. I don't know. Anyway, Alf goes to take Michael to meet the man in charge, who of course is the president.
No, it's Smoke.
It's Donald Trump. Oh, is it Smoke? Thank you, Shaylin.
The man in charge.
Hi.
Think about this scenario. This is the world that Alf has built, right? So like if this was the world of Inception, Alf is the architect, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the Ellen Page.
Yeah. He's not the Dom. Well, Alf would be the Dom Cobb. Who's the Dom Cobb here? Is there a Dom Cobb? It doesn't matter.
Bugs Bunny? Pulling the strings and...
Yeah, let's go with that. Bugs Bunny is the Dom Cobb. So, in this scenario, Alf takes him to the man in charge, but Alf creates the Smoke Man who was already there to be in this world with them. It's crazy.
Why did he invite him in to that fantasy?
He needed to implant the memory into the lockbox on the 5th level.
That's
Also,
exactly it.
It would have been great if the chair turned around, it was just George Bush, like superimposed into the cartoon.
I would have supported that.
I'm here, children.
Don't do drugs. While all this is going on, Corey goes fucking back into Michael's room. But now we've got a problem. We got a big fucking problem.
It's a big problem.
What's the problem?
Because the drug box is there. The tasty pork roll is out in the open.
Oh my God. The weird cannoli.
The Smoke Man rises up, and we get the temptation of Corey.
Relax. He's only cloth and stuffing. Besides, that bear doesn't get around much. I do. Trust me. Open the box.
Open the box.
What's in the box?
This is where Corey finds the aforementioned crusty condom.
Gross.
So, little memento, if you will. Michael can't help because the cartoons have him locked in a carnival.
That's right.
So he could help his little sister. The cartoons are probably aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to teach their lesson. It's not really clear to me at this point, because the Smoke Man is the man in charge, if he's keeping him in this weird hallucination or trip, or if it's the cartoons. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Say it again. Is he keeping him in?
Like, what is keeping him here and stopping him from going to help Corey?
So the Smoke Man is in the he's in the fantasy or the hallucination, but he's also in the room with Corey.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and so
but Alf built this hallucination. So
Right.
what is?
So I don't think that Alf is aware of what's going on with Corey, and I don't think Michael is aware either. So they're like off doing their side quest, and the plot is still moving ahead, but they don't know that the plot's moving ahead without them.
I have a question.
Castaway, like Tom Hanks.
Wilson! Why is all the cartoon characters are very, very effective? Like they can move around, but then there's Pooh Bear, and he's just like completely useless.
He's a fuzzy little tubby all stuffed with fluffies.
And there was a distinct lack of honey, so his motivation just through the floor.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Honey, another metaphor for drugs.
The honey pot.
Euphemism.
You think so?
Anyway.
It could be. We want to know. J.M. Barrie was no, that's Peter Pan.
Yep.
A.A. Milne.
A pervert, no less. A.A. Milne, not so much of a pervert as J.M. Barrie.
Sure about that?
Pretty confident.
Different times about them. So anyway, so Michael's in this carnival, and
pedophilia was always wrong.
Thanks, Shailen. There were some good things happening in this carnival. There's this really bizarre scene where Michael falls into a tunnel of love, right? And he's floating in the water. He's frantic. It seems like he's going to drown. All of a sudden, a boat comes by. It's got Tigger. It has Piggy. They wave at him. He waves at them. They throw him a life preserver.
Yes.
This was so fucking funny. I truly enjoyed it. We also get Michael ending up in a milkshake or something.
Mm-hmm.
Piggy sucks him up into a straw and spits him out. And Michael reacts to this in a true horny teen kind of fashion. They say
spanking.
Gross.
When you're going through puberty, you know, your hormones are running high. Seemed a weird time to get into that kind of activity.
So gross.
But hey, it happens. The mood hits you. You gotta rub one up.
You just gotta rip balls and hang dong and get with it.
That's right.
Anatomically correct dong here.
Gross.
Very well animated. So the Tigger throwing the life preserver, and then all these cartoon characters like chewing him up and spitting him out. Like, this is exactly what you want to see. This goes back to my Alf eating Garfield thing. Like, it's exactly what you want to see from your beloved cartoon characters. Just them horrifyingly mistreating a child.
But if you don't do drugs, they won't mistreat you this way.
That could be.
It's a metaphor.
I guess so.
When
but
you
like,
do drugs, they'll chew you up and spit you out. And only Tigger can save you.
For some people, that's something they enjoy. That idea of being chewed up and spit out. The name of it escapes me. I will plug it in. The name of the fetish is
Vorophilia.
Masturbation. I don't know.
I can't look it up while we're recording because I'll go down this rabbit hole. But I will
Let's not go down this hole.
I will put it on Twitter with lots of visual evidence. Anyway,
down in the hole.
So Michael gets to the end of the carnival. He sees his future. He's a zombie holding a pill vial. And all the while, Corey is pondering doing drugs. She would have no fucking idea how. All she has is like this roll of shit. But
she's just going to eat the joint.
Oh, that would be okay. That would.
I mean,
gets it into your bloodstream, I guess. It's not effective. It has to be cooked into the oil, but whatever.
Doesn't look like something you would eat.
The man in charge is certainly there and could help her, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not.
He knows about crack.
He can't pick anything up. Anyway, so we get the tunes all encouraging Michael while his sister is getting ready to try drugs. So let's listen to that.
This is my future?
It is if you don't get off those drugs.
You use, you lose.
Listen to us. We care about you, Mikey.
What's up, Doc, is your life. if you don't cut it out.
There's nothing cool about a fool on drugs.
Just believe it yourself.
Yeah, you're excellent just the way you are, without drugs.
How do I get out of here?
A valid question.
It's the fucking platitude patrol.
leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Stop screaming cliches at me.
Is it Stuart Smalley that did they had the spoof of on Saturday Night Live? 'Cause I'm good enough and I'm smart enough and doggone it, people like me.
As it turns out, peer pressure is what got him into this drugs mess. Peer pressure is getting him out of it.
That's true.
Don't be an idiot. Be like a turtle and don't do drugs. Although the turtles were created because of drugs, but that's another matter entirely. So Corey pops out of the fantasy. It's like a reverse Nightmare on Elm Street. He smacks the box away. He says he was a dope. He throws the smoke man into the garbage. And I noticed here that Corey has freakily long arms. Like she's like a baboon of sorts.
Gangly.
Yeah. Super gangly.
A orangutan.
And
orangutan.
we get this little bit of dialogue.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was going to miss something important.
Come on, sis. Let's go talk to Mom and Dad.
So that's the takeaway is let's go talk to Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
But there's something a little sad about this, right? Because all of the cartoons that have climbed out of like comic books and toys and lamps and stuff, they all go onto this one poster, which means that Corey has saved her brother from drugs, but has lost all of her toys and possessions, including her beloved Pooh Bear.
I never noticed that.
Right?
And all these poor cartoons are just stuck in this poster together now. They can't like live in their own worlds.
Yeah.
Also,
Like Garfield wins, but like the Smurfs lose.
If I'm misreading this, Shayla, let me know.
No, I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah. So if you do drugs, you get a cool adventure and you get a sweet kick-ass poster out of the deal. But we're not done because we have like our like farm aid song from the cartoons here.
Oh man.
I don't have a ton of this.
But you missed a really important part. When he says he'll be back. And Corey says, but this time we'll be ready for him.
How?
I don't know.
Guns.
They're going to talk to Mom and Dad.
More drugs. Bigger drugs.
The good kind of drugs.
Yeah.
The good kind.
Ritalin. Vaccines.
Sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best drug of all.
Oh, yeah.
Shellen, stop paying attention.
I am paying attention. I'm ignoring you.
Let's listen to the Farm Aid song.
When the going gets rough, and there's times that it will, as you grow.
It's like that.
As you grow.
It's like that song, the Christmas song. Do they know it's Christmas time?
Yes.
And you got Bono out there.
Instead of Pooh Bear.
Thank God it's them instead of you.
So we get that.
Whenever that song plays during Christmas, and my family and I are driving around in the car, if it's playing and we're pulling into the driveway, we have to stay in the driveway until Bono sings that part of the song. Like we cannot leave the car, no matter what we have to do.
That song is a banger, and
oh, for sure.
We'll tat that one on at the end of the episode too.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. There's a newer version, not as good, but it's okay. So that is Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue, and
do they
would you show it to a child in today's day and age?
Shaylin? Oh yeah, I totally would.
Shaylin, disappointed. Dave,
disappointed but not surprised. No, I would not. This is a terrible message for kids, a terrible way of talking about drugs, and a terrible way of a terrible portrayal of a healthy, or what should be a healthy parent-child relationship.
That you're going to say a healthy marijuana user.
Yeah.
Which, as this cartoon shows us, doesn't exist. I think
they're evil.
I would not show this to a child. the message behind it feels so disingenuous to me and so like blatantly manipulative. Like it's
scare tactics, all that shit.
I am all for teaching kids don't do drugs, right? Like when you're an adult, make your decision, do your thing. Marijuana is becoming legal. It's a leaf. It's not a drug. I'm with you on all that. But like to have like Bugs Bunny showing up and like calling you like a fucking idiot, and Michelangelo just like slapping you with his little turtle dick, like it's not cool. And so therefore I would not show this to a child. I've blown my load for the review.
Oh man.
Let's do 1 to 5. Fucking wacky tobacco doobie smokes.
I give it 3. Great nostalgia. I love the concept of like all of the commercialized entities coming together for a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
But I can objectively tell that this is terrible. So,
okay.
What about you, Ben?
I'm gonna go with 2. One for Garfield and one for Alf as Dennis Miller. It's just like I said, like this is not unentertaining, right? In the way that like Reefer Madness or any of those from like the 50s are, but like this was 1990, you know? And I don't know. I feel like people will be like, well, you're just saying this to be woke. And like, I'm really not. Like, please don't be fucking ridiculous. But like, this is just so irresponsible, you know? Violence in cartoons, that's fine. That's cool. But like this message and the way it's delivered is so antiquated and so gross.
That's fair.
And also, they are not the real cartoons. They're manifestations. Hashtag Ben was right. Dave?
Oh, part of me wants to give this a high rating, a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5, just because I love like watching those old Reefer Madness type of PSAs and like scare shows. But I'm actually gonna go on the low side. I'm gonna go with a 1 here. And that's because this was not an all-star cast. This was missing a bunch of cartoon all-stars that would have fit perfectly into this.
For example?
Where was Cartoon Rambo?
That's true. The ultimate.
He was busy doing a different anti-drug PSA.
Hold this rocket launcher, Pooh Bear. Don't do drugs, Michael. Oh, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, where was Johnny?
Yeah, where's John Candy? You know, animated John Candy.
I'm gonna shove this joint right up your ass.
Yeah. That was a Uncle Buck reference. You know, there should have been other characters here, like a G.I. Joe, maybe, or I don't know.
You didn't think Bugs did enough yelling?
Like, but there, yeah. So, just the cast could have been a little more all-star than it was.
They had Don Messick.
What?
The Don Messick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't have Brian Stokes Mitchell.
That's true. He's a little younger for this group.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have Deborah Messing either.
That's true.
Hashtag topical. So, Shaylin, you, in the spirit of back to school, have written a back to school themed game?
It's a quiz show, high school quiz show.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And the way that this game is going to work, you have 3 options. So I'm going to give you a word or a phrase. And as we have explored throughout this episode, drugs have a lot of funny nicknames, right? So you're going to
for sure.
You're going to tell me, is the word or phrase slang for a drug? Is it some description of food? Or slang for food? Or is it like nonsense or just a silly catchphrase or just am I messing with you in general? Okay. So those are your 3 categories are this is real slang, this is food slang, or this is fake
slang. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
It's an important question and I know what the answer is going to be.
Okay.
What is the name of this game?
I told you. It's High School Quiz Show. Cartoon edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quizzer that. Sorry.
And I also have an exciting bonus round.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Which I'll explain when we get there.
Is there wagering involved?
There's no wagering because I'm not willing to do math.
Just wait till
we're just tallying.
Wait till I get back in the game.
So, You're gonna tell me real food or fake. Then if you would like to try for a bonus, then you can tell me the definition or the drug.
I'm so confused. We should get into this.
All right.
Just dive into it.
We'll start with Dave. Lunch money.
That's real food.
Nope, that's a drug. That's slang for a drug. Would you like to guess which drug?
Altoids.
Altoids aren't a drug, Dave.
Gets me high.
Rohypnol.
Oh, okay.
Ben. Hulk.
What am I guessing?
Is that slang
is
for
it
a
real
drug?
Food? Is it real food or fake?
Is it slang for a drug?
Okay.
Is it slang for a food?
Uh-huh.
Or is it just like nonsense I'm throwing at you?
So Hulk would either be a drug, a food, or just
a fake
nonsense.
Yeah.
Food.
No.
It's a garden salad.
Xanax.
What?
Huh.
Hulk.
Disagree.
I double checked these against 3 sources each.
Okay.
Dave.
Yes.
The spirit molecule.
That's fake food. That is fake.
You're wrong. Would you like to guess what drug it describes?
You're yelling more than Bugs Bunny.
Is it... You're wrong, idiot. What drug? Angel dust.
It is not angel dust. DMT, which is a form of hallucinogen, but not the same as angel dust.
Is that the one that you get when you scrape the insides out of the banana peels and bake it?
I did not get that far into the research.
Did you guys ever hear that urban legend?
I did hear that urban
The
legend.
banana pith?
Yeah. I desperately wanted to try that in high school, and I never did because we never had bananas in the house.
All right.
So.
Did I get a point?
No.
Did I get a point for the banana story?
No. So far, you're tied at 0.
Okay.
Whose turn is it?
Mine.
Ben's.
Coffin varnish.
It's a drug.
You're right.
Yeah.
What drug?
Opium.
No. Bootlegged liquor.
Ooh.
Really?
That was apparently in the 20s. They called it coffin varnish because it was so frequent that people died from it.
Cool.
I love that.
Man.
And also it smelled like coffin varnish often.
It'd be cool if you went to a bar now and people were just dropping dead. This world's too full of people anyway.
Dave.
Shaylin, when I'm older, and by older I mean like in 2 months, I want you to give me some coffin varnish.
Seems unlikely.
Put me out in the yard.
All right, Dave. Your word is pookie.
Pookie?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Pookie.
that is fake.
You are wrong. It is a nickname for a drug. Would you like to guess the drug, Dave?
Let's see. Candy cigarettes.
That's right, Dave. It's meth.
Ooh, Pookie. There is a children's book by Sandra Boynton called Lil Pookie.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
That book got really funny this week for me.
Yeah.
All right. Ben.
Holler.
Grindage.
Grindage.
Ugh.
That's also a drug.
No. It's a kind of food. Would you like to guess what kind?
Grindage. Like chewed up lettuce.
It is a sandwich, Ben. Grindage is slang for sandwich.
That's grinder.
That's a pre-chewed hoagie.
So grinder is a nickname for it, and grindage is the nickname of the nickname.
Grindage is totally like a stoner name for a sandwich, right?
I don't think so.
Or like, I'm sorry, Pauly Shore.
I found it on the
grindage.
All right,
some grindage with the wheeze.
I like grindage too, Polly.
Dave.
Yes, Shaylin.
Turtle hair.
That's clearly real sex.
That's complete nonsense that I made up on the train.
Yes. So I got a point.
Michelangelo had a little turtle hair. You know what I'm saying?
I said that was real sex.
Got to buy his short hairs.
All right. Let's see. My last couple favorites here. I have others, but
so the score is I'm leading 5-1.
No. Ben.
Yes.
Blind squid.
Drug.
Yes. Would you like to guess what kind?
Yeah, liquid opium.
Wrong. Ketamine.
That was my second guess.
Doesn't count.
Horse tranquilizer.
Dave. Fluff.
That is.
I'll give you a gimme here. It's not food in this context.
That is a drug.
Well done, Dave. Would you like to guess which drug?
Crocodile.
Vicodin.
Oh. Got a point. I'm on the board.
You're on the board. All right. The next, the lightning round. We're entering it. I'm going to give you a word, and you have to come up with street slang for it.
Okay.
Ben. Ibuprofen.
Pookie.
No points. Dave.
What?
Happy Meal.
Sticky Altoid.
Ugh. No point.
What?
What about a Happy Meal is anything like... Oh. Ben.
Yes.
M&M's.
Color circle.
Can I steal?
Steal.
Some shadies.
Damn it.
All right, Dave. Last one.
Chocolate Skittles.
Ooh, I like that.
Pedialyte.
Baby Crunk.
Congratulations, we end the game with a tie, 2-2.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for playing High School Quiz Show Cartoon Edition.
The correct answer was Care Bear puberty juice.
Oh. Gross. Let me tell you, I have
Funshine's Fun Juice.
I have so many more weird things on this list that I'm very excited to have another very special episode of something so that we can reuse them.
We're only using it for the Bat to School kickoff show.
I'll save it for a year.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We'll be watching Scared Straight.
I'm in. Thanks for playing.
Thanks for having us. I never know how to get out of that.
Have we heard from anyone this week?
You know what? We certainly have.
Who?
Onto the mailbag. Hello, Watchbots. I note that you have varied personalities and that amongst yourselves and your guests, you have some solid team roles built. After last week's episode, I'm curious, which Power Ranger, Ninja Turtle, or Planeteer would you say your co-hosts are and why? I think Ben is totally a Michelangelo because he seems like a party dude and would berate a teenager, but that's just my editorializing. Have a great day. Time on my hands in Tennessee. So I think we're putting each other into roles of a team.
Okay.
I don't know if it has to be like the same team. Like, could somebody be a Power Ranger and the other a Planeteer? I don't know. That's up to you.
How about we do this?
Okay.
Shaylin, you cast us, all three of us, as Planeteers. Ben, you cast all three of us as Power Rangers. And I'll cast all three of us as X-Men.
Okay.
Okay.
Shaylin, go.
I would be Wind. Because she's blonde.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
Ben would be Fire.
Yeah, that's right.
Follow your heart.
Because you're going to get burned.
And Dave can be Captain Planet himself.
Oh, man. You just made my day.
I was going to say Heart, but it seemed mean.
Oh, the lame one?
Yeah, that's right. So I gave you the cool one instead to be nice.
I just want you to be honest. That's all.
I don't think that I can truly shoehorn the three of us into that cartoon easily.
Dave, you're going to be Earth, Heart, Wind, Water.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Your great brass band.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Shaylin, you are going to be... You are the Jean Grey in that you are able to read Ben's mind and you're always passing out. Ben, you're the Gambit of the group.
Fuck yeah.
Roguish, devilishly handsome, and constantly wearing a neck sock. And I am Morph from X-Men because I am constantly changing voices and personalities.
Do you know the first semester of college that I knew you? one of our classmates and I referred to you as the chameleon because you were constantly changing your wardrobe and we couldn't figure out what the heck you were going for.
I also changed my hair.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. I went from like shaggy Owen Wilson to clean cut Dave.
We made fun of you a lot that semester.
It's fine.
A point of correction. The chameleon is not an X-Men character.
No, that is Morph. Or Mystique.
I was drawing a line. I wasn't saying that Chameleon was an X-Men.
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I would be Zordon because I like to pontificate. Dave would be
Amy Jo Johnson.
Dave would be this is tough. You would think that I didn't have 5 minutes to think about this. Dave would be Amy Jo Johnson.
Oh, thank you. Because I'm great at gymnastics.
And you're always close to being set on fire.
Yeah, and I rock the color pink.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Shaylin would be Finster because she always has lots of ideas and creations and likes playing with clay.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks for making me the bad guy evil one.
Would you rather be Billy?
No.
Because you get lots of ideas. Dangerous ideas.
Yeah, and you
dangerous.
You would be the inventor of Radbug. Radbug.
Hell yeah.
All right.
So I think we've answered that question thoroughly. It's a fine question.
Thanks, Timmy Hands from Tennessee.
Yeah. You can cast us in roles if you want. Hashtag WatchBots casting couch. And if you want to get in, email at watchbotspod.com. So Cartoon All-Stars to the rescue. We can't revisit it because it only existed once. But any last thoughts on, this, on drugs, on Cheeb?
I got a final thought. Don't do drugs, Johnny.
Don't do drugs.
I mean, I spent a lot of time glorifying and enjoying and talking positively about this cartoon. But ultimately, it was terrible, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. It just really affected my entire life from 1990 on. So,
yeah.
I feel like I visited some kind of emotional abuse.
I can't say that... I can't say that this affected me from 1990 on, but I can say from 2019 on, it's going to live with me forever. And I don't know if that's good or bad. You know what I mean? Like emotional abuse can mean so many things to so many people.
But that's what we want for you listeners. We want to live on forever in your hearts.
And in your iTunes applications.
Yes.
Yes.
So please download us.
Yes.
And share it with your friends.
And do drugs while doing so.
Yes. And
or
don't consider...
It's up to you.
Don't consider us emotional abuse.
Yeah. And one thing we want from you listeners is we're always looking for ideas of things to talk about. We did hear from a listener, Thomas, with a few ideas, which we appreciate. And I promised to shout out. So shout out to Thomas.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, Tommy.
No. I don't know what your feelings are on drug culture and cartoons, but, I'll assume pro or anti. Is that a good shout out?
Either way, you're a fan and we love it.
Yeah. Gross. The way you said that made me uncomfortable. And then he drove away on a motorcycle.
Gotta go. Bye.
I said that weird thing. I have to go.
Here we go. On that note, off my good, clean shout out. Big ups. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Jiffy at WatchBotsPod. Please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, or your platform of choice. For Dave and Shaylin in a cast of Cartoon All-Stars, this is Ben. Thanks for listening to another episode of WatchBots. Until next week, you stay out of the opium dens and get the needle out of your arm. Unless you want to meet your cartoon heroes who are not real, but are real. Were they real?
Maybe.
They might have been real. Anyway, do drugs. Or don't. Or do. Bye. Or do.
Or don't.
Well, you look like three fine lads. know, I might have something here you'd like to try. Something to make you feel real good.
There's million wild and wonderful ways to say no. No, sir. No, sir.
Better learn if you and take him wherever you go.
No, thanks. No, sir.
If your pal says let's get time, here's a practical reply.
Go ahead, let's slide. Step right in his eye and say no.
That's so boring. I've been dreaming for football. Somebody tell me that was fun. What's the bottom line? Show me something wrong. Now you could say beat it. Get lost, get out of my face with that stuff. But that could be tactless. You may prefer cool. Like this. I'll get you guys later, okay?
I've got too much homework. It's rough.
I'm late for my baseball game and I'll miss my ride.
My kid sister needs me.
A hipster does.
Hurry home.
There's no time to kill. I'll catch you later. Like that Guess I'm allergic.
And good excuses don't mean never after all.
That's my perspective.
When you pound things, let's get wrecked.
Go on, push, eject, protect yourself. Be the first one on your block to say.
Forget it, Doc.
Huh? Oh, what a nightmare.